All right. We got Central Ohio housing report coming up and Dayton. So what's going on in the Gem City or C-Bus in the housing market? We're going to talk about that right after this countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, we are live. Well, welcome everybody to September 2023 Housing Report. This is Adam Ashba with Hondros College and broker at Ashmont Realty. We're live in studio today. We're going to be talking about the Gem City, which is actually kicking some butt. So I love Dayton, love my agents in Dayton, go Gem. And then we're going to talk about C-Bus, what's going on in Central Ohio, and definitely two different things going on with two cities that are less than 90 miles apart. So let's go ahead and let's dive right into it. We're going to talk first about Dayton. But before we do, I want a little history lesson. One thing that I can't stress is that agents and people, you know, if you're thinking about buying a home, especially, we all know that everything's slow because these really high interest rates. So here's a history lesson before we get started. Do you know that the 30-year average on a mortgage rate right now, anyone want to take a guess? Anybody? It's 7.8% today. Okay. That means that's before buy downs and all that fancy stuff. About 8%, 7.8%. Now, Freddie and Fannie started tracking interest rates back in 1971. So if you do the math, that's a little older than I am, but that's a little over 52 years. The 52-year average, guys, does anyone want to guess what the 52-year average of interest rates has been? 7.74%. We're exactly almost identical to the 50-year average. So rates are not high, guys. So if you're a buyer, stop stressing out about the rates, how high they are, because we're at an average interest rate. There's no more 2 or 3% mortgages. Don't even think about that. We're on an average rate. So with that being said, let's move on, get that out of the way. There's your history lesson for today. So let's talk about Dayton. And one thing I love about Dayton housing statistics, the Dayton Board of Realtors, great organization. They come with this really nice image. You know, it's like all the data put into it. So we're going to put it up now. So the thing I want to talk about is September of this year compared to September of last year. If you compare the year-over-year months, there's over 7% increase in sales. That's crazy because we've been talking about every month, less sales, less listings, less sales. But actually, there's been a 7% increase in home sales if you compare September of this year to September of last year, Dayton. So what's going on? What's going on? A lot of activity. I mean, it's completely flipped in Central Ohio. But you know, we have a 5% increase. So if you're buying a house, if you bought a house last year in Dayton, it's worth about 5% more at this time this year. That's pretty good. 5% increase. Remember, home prices, you know, historically go average about 3% increase. So we're still above the game. But one thing is, does everyone remember? Because we talked about this last month about how many listings, new listings they were in August over August of last year. There was like 40% more listings from August last year to August of the year before. And now in September, there's 40% more listings in September of this 2023 than there was last year at that time, another 40% increase. So I don't know what's going on in the water in Dayton, but it's great. Listen, if you're a real estate agent, get ready because there's a lot of listings. I mean, we've had 2 straight months that we've had 40% increases in listings, which means all the title companies out there, get ready. mortgage companies that you're going to have a lot more business. Okay. And we're going to see more closed sales. That's why we had a 7% increase year over year on closed sales for the month of September. So good job, Dayton. Whatever you're doing, keep it up, because these numbers don't reflect what's going on in Central Ohio. So let's talk about Central Ohio real quick, and we'll finish it out. Unfortunately, sales in Central Ohio are much different. Much different. Central Ohio is down 14.5% from September, so last month, compared to September in 2022. Down 14%. So if you want to compare Central Ohio with Dayton, that's over 21% difference in sales. Okay, because remember, Dayton was 7% more. Columbus has been 14% down. Now, it's been, in fairness to Dayton, it's down year over year, a cumulative year over year. So, but for some reason, this fall has been great for Dayton. Yep, we've held at a 15% decrease year over year in Central Ohio, and September was no different. We're kind of hovering down 15% in sales. Now, average sale price of a home in Central Ohio is still going up. It's over $348,000, which is a 4.5% increase. So if you bought a house last year, it's on average about 4.5% more than it was, than it is now. So that's good. So we still have price increases. Dayton was 6%? So 6% in Dayton. So things are still going well. It's still costing. If you're waiting to buy a house, it's going to cost you more. Okay. Rates have actually crept up a little bit over the last few months. Not a lot, maybe 0.5%, depending on the day. So, new listings are down in Central Ohio from September. So they're down about 8%. Now, for some reason, Dayton's up 40%, but Columbus is down 8%. So guess what? And actually that's not too bad, 7-8%, because it's been about 15% in some months. But for any of the title companies and lenders and things like that, we're going to have less closed sales come, next month when we talk about October. So things are still down. But yeah, good job, Dayton. I don't know what's going on over there. Keep up the good work. Finish out the year strong. But that concludes this month's September 2023 Central Ohio Housing Report. This is Adam Ashba with Honduras College and Brokered Ashmont Realty. And if you guys have any questions about, selling your house or want to argue about interest rates, let me know. So make sure you like and subscribe. And thanks for watching episode of the Central Housing Report. So have a great week, guys, and we'll see you soon.